Bondi, one of Sydney's most famous suburbs, and to this day Bondi Beach still does not have a direct train or tram line, only having a bus route that is often delayed and overcrowded. This is then where my proposal of a light rail line known as the L5 Eastern Suburbs line would come into play. I thought of an idea to have a tram line connecting Moore Park or even into Sydney, connecting via Bondi Junction towards Bondi Beach. As you can see on the screen here, I've even made a diagram for all the stops, and in this video today I'll be explaining how this line would work. We'll first start off with Moore Park, the first proposed stop on this new line. I propose that the station could be built alongside Moore Park's existing light rail stop, making the platforms at Moore Park up to 4 platforms. Next, we move on to the second tram stop known as Centennial Park, or what can also be called Lang Road. This tram stop is subjected to be built right near the equestrian centre near the entertainment quarter. As you can see on the street view here via Google Maps, there are 2 locations that this tram stop can be put in, either on a straight section of road or a slightly curved section of road. We then make our way up and along Lang Road alongside Centennial Park towards the next tram stop that I like to call Oxford Junction. After working its way up and along Lang Road, the trams would then turn over this intersection here, and a tram stop should be built roughly where this street view location is at the moment. The reason why I chose this location is because there's this big green patch area in the middle, making it much easier and much cheaper to build a tram line along this road. After leaving Oxford Junction tram stop, the trams will then make their way along this green grass section before reaching the next stop known as Woollahra or Carrington Drive. Once again located in this green patch middle section of the road, the tram stop can be located here, before then turning off in this direction towards Bondi Junction. The trams will then turn off the main road, continuing down Oxford Street to the next stop I like to call Denison Street. Yes, similar to the one in Victoria Cross, Denison Street is located in Bondi Junction, and this is roughly where I think it should go, right next to some apartments and just before a lot of the density of Bondi Junction begins. After leaving Denison Street, the trams will continue down Oxford Street towards the heart of Bondi Junction, stopping next at
Extra Club, Sauna, Ice Bath and...
We then reach Bondi Junction tram stop, located directly next to Bondi Junction train station. It's actually sat where an original tram line used to go through several years ago, and obviously I chose the most perfect photo for this, a crashed tram. Also, can I just say, what the hell is this lady doing on the back of the tram?
Tram surfing, oh no.
After leaving Bondi Junction, the trams will continue along Oxford Street underneath the walkway bridge for Bondi Westfield, continuing to the next stop of, well, Bondi Junction Westfield. This tram stop will primarily be used for connection to Bondi Junction Westfield, allowing passengers to get off and go for their general shopping. We then leave Westfield Bondi Junction, continue along Oxford Street and head on to Old Southhead Road before reaching our next stop of Victoria Road, not to be confused with the famous and notorious Victoria Road. Victoria Road should be a new tram stop that will be located next to these complex sort of apartment buildings, as well on a fairly busy road. However, it will be located in the 2 middle lanes, allowing for an island platform and an extra lane on the sides for traffic. The trams will then leave Victoria Road and continue down Old Southhead Road before reaching the next stop of Francis Street. Francis Street is named after the street with a U-turn sort of area directly next to the highway, which does not connect to the highway, however it is very close. Currently there is a bus stop sat where this tram stop will be. As you can see, there are apartments on Francis Street that will connect to the tram stop very easily. Trams will then leave Francis Street, continuing along Old Southhead Road to O'Brien Street and reaching the next stop of Lamrock Avenue. This is right next to a roundabout, and the tram stop will be located just here, directly in the spot of a current bus stop. And it's most likely that traffic lights will have to replace the roundabout, as a tramway would be going through there. Trams would then leave Lamrock Avenue and continue along the same road until Bondi Town Centre, the second last stop on the line. Bondi Town Centre is right between a whole lot of apartments and directly behind the main road that wraps around Bondi Beach. trams will then leave Bondi Town Centre and continue along this side street, going through several pedestrian areas before making it to Bondi Beach tram stop. The famous Bondi Beach finally has a tram stop. Well, not exactly, but the trams will make their way through these little pedestrian side streets before crossing the main road and turning down this little curve towards what used to actually be the testing site during times. This is roughly where Bondi Beach tram stop would go, and of course it's directly next to the famous Bondi Beach, just at least a 30-second to 1 minute walk away. And that's a summary of all the new proposed tram stops on the L5 Eastern Suburbs line. As you can see here, the line is surprisingly exactly 5 kilometers long, although this does not account for the several turns, but basically in a straight line from Moore Park towards Bondi Beach tram stop, it is exactly 5 kilometers long. Now, a lot of you will probably be wondering what would the cost be of this new L5 Eastern Suburbs line, and from recent research on the Parramatta Light Rail Stage 1, that costed $2.6 billion. So I'm going to go in the middle and say about $2.5 to $3.5 billion. So pretty much around $3 billion is the expected cost for the L5 Eastern Suburbs line project. Of course, I am no expert in predicting the cost of tram lines or train lines, so there is a chance it could be much cheaper or much more expensive than what I have predicted. And we will go back to all the tram stops on the line. One thing I will also add is if you're keen on learning about all the tram stops on this proposed line, I will link in the top right of the screen and in the description below a link to download this PDF file here that I made of the Eastern Suburbs line map, showcasing all the tram stops between Moore Park and Bondi Beach. Let me know if you have any suggestions on how it could potentially be extended towards the city, as of course a lot of people travel to Bondi from the city, not just Moore Park. So there is a chance that the trams could be extended through to example for Redfern or Central Chalmers Street using the existing L2 and L3 lines. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This new L5 Eastern Suburbs line would prove really useful toward the community, as a lot of people for years have been complaining about no direct rail link towards Bondi and Bondi Beach, as some of you may even know that the Eastern Suburbs rail line that ends at Bondi Junction was supposed to head towards Bondi Beach and down south. However, this never happened due to the lack of funding and the original project running a little bit late. Let me know in the comments below if you have any opinions on what I mentioned in this video of this proposed L5 Eastern Suburbs line and what changes you might want to make, as well as also mentioning that there is currently proposed by Clover Moore, the Lord Mayor of Sydney, for a light rail line connecting Taverners Hill towards Green Square via the city. Personally, I'm not that big of a fan on this idea, as I feel like it's running very close to existing train and tram lines. A line such as the L5 Eastern Suburbs line could be much better and much more beneficial for the community. Of course, I'm not speaking on behalf of the locals who may be getting this new tram line, so you'll have to hear from them on whether they think there should be a new tram line running along Parramatta Road towards the city and towards Green Square, or if there shouldn't be. Anyways, that is going to wrap up this video. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and let me know what you thought of this slightly different style of video. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel to help us reach 7,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Also, feel free to like the video and leave a comment below if you enjoyed it. Make sure you check out some of my other videos if you haven't already, as I even made a video on the Parramatta Light Rail testing, which you can find on the top right of the screen here. Just a bit of a heads up to everyone that this will most likely be my last video before the grand opening of the Sydney Metro City Line down towards Sydenham. I thought I'd give a little bit of context on what I'll be doing for that day, so I plan on obviously going on the first day and trying to get the first train from Sydenham. I will then ride all the way towards Chatswood and take a look at each of the stations. This will also mean I'm able to release a video of a station that no one has ever seen before, but I have. That video was filmed nearly a year ago in September of 2023. I'm still awaiting approval from Sydney Metro to upload this video, and I am planning on re-editing it to fit today's standards, as mentioned in the last video at the end. One thing I also thought I'd add is that, as you can see here, this is the Parramatta Light Rail testing, and apparently the Parramatta Light Rail will be also opening in August, in late August. There's currently no exact date, but apparently it will be opening in August. So, of course, I will also be attending the opening day for the Parramatta Light Rail. So this is a great time to follow my YouTube channel and turn on notifications, and I'll provide you all updates in my community section on what's happening over the next few weeks, ahead of the opening day of the Sydney Metro line down to Sydenham on the 4th of August. I'm planning on posting my open day video that evening, so it's going to be a pretty hectic day for me. So make sure you consider subscribing and watching some more of my videos to help support my channel and make more videos like this. Also, massive shout out to my members for also helping as well. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you all at the Sydney Metro Open Day.